So I came to Australia when I was starting medical school. So that was like 7 years ago. And I feel like I was really lucked out. I think there was a couple of options in terms of where I could have studied in Australia, but I chose Wollongong and studied at UOW. And it was just such an amazing experience in the sense that I lived near the beach. It was really good for mental health. It was a really difficult program, as any medical programs go. But it was, able to explore Australia while I was going through med school, which I don't think would have been a case if I stayed in Canada as much. And the main differences, I think, in terms of between New Zealand and Australia, I've obviously had a very short experience here so far, especially working in the hospitals. That's the main kind of interactions I've had with New Zealanders. I found like both places, people are super friendly. In New Zealand, especially, I think they're really used to having a lot of foreigners and a lot of internationals come and go. Everyone is so accepting of that fact and just really embrace it and really like to get to know your culture, really get to know where you're from, but in a way where they're really interested in getting to know you, not as a way to kind of separate you from them. So I really felt that. I felt that working in PAMI first when I arrived. And then just how like everyone is very collegial. It's a very big teamwork component because I think everywhere medical staff is short-staffed, and so especially in ED, it feels like everyone's banded together and we're ready for war. What inspired me to come over to New Zealand? Well, is really a no-brainer, really, because New Zealand is beautiful. I'm from Canada. I live on the west coast of Canada, so there's a lot of similarities between New Zealand and home. When I first arrived, I was like, oh, it's just like Vancouver, BC, except the mountains are closer. And they're right there. And it was like when we arrived, it was snow-capped and it was just so scenic to Queenstown. And so for me, it was really a great opportunity to have a true working holiday, to experience New Zealand, travel around, do a lot of outdoors activities, which we really enjoyed, my partner and I. And also be able to experience different medical system, like the differences and similarities between New Zealand and Australians. We often treat Kiwis in Australia, and so it's like better to understand their culture, where they come from. And so yeah, it was just a no-brainer for me. Moving to a different country and overcoming the barriers and the challenges. Well, I guess the answer is I'm a Canadian who's studying in Australia, and now I'm in New Zealand. And before that, I was born in China and moved to Canada. And so traveling is not new to me in my life. And I think the way like our family has thought about it is you need to use the available resources in the world to kind of achieve what you want out of life.
How did Roxy and Medrecruit help support you in moving over here and locuming over here?
It wouldn't have happened, I think. It's just because there obviously a lot of the part of the process requires someone with local knowledge and a working professional relationship with the hospitals to establish. I think in the beginning, I actually contacted the hospitals because I wasn't sure how job seeking process was going to be. And I did hear back from them, but obviously I didn't contact the right person. I just sent a general email. And I was so happy when Roxy contacted me as a connection, because I was referred to her. And I was like, Roxy, I've heard back from this hospital, but please help me. Please use your professional relationship. I want to work here. I just don't know how, but I'll let you do the rest. Because I trust that you guys have a system. I trust that you guys are working professionals, and that's the process that exists to help us. So I was really, really happy with how quickly things happened and how I was able to basically complete all my paperwork within weeks before my departure to New Zealand.